Long ago, the mighty gods Thor and Loki embarked on an extraordinary journey across the vast world. Riding in Thor's chariot, drawn by powerful goats that the gods had specially reserved for their adventures, they set their course for the kingdom of the giants, eager to partake in new and thrilling exploits. Before reaching their destination, the gods paused at a humble village, seeking shelter for the night. Despite the villagers' warm welcome, their modest means left them with nothing to offer as hospitality. Unfazed, Thor reassured them, declaring that he would provide a lavish feast. The god of thunder took matters into his own hands, slaughtering his sacred goats and having their meat prepared for a meal fit for divine beings. As the villagers indulged in the delectable goat meat, Thor, in his generosity, offered them sustenance with one peculiar condition: they were only to leave the bones untouched. While the feast unfolded, Loki, ever mischievous, seized the opportunity for one of his pranks. Approaching a young resident named Thjalfi, Loki slyly whispered about the unfairness of allowing Thor to keep all the delicious marrow to himself. He painted a tempting picture of the extraordinary strength one could gain from indulging in such a delicacy. Breaking one of the bones to taste the forbidden marrow, Thjalfi discreetly tossed the remnants over the goat's skins. Unbeknownst to the villagers, Loki's prank set in motion a series of events that would test the gods' benevolence. The following day, Thor performed a ritual, miraculously resurrecting the slaughtered goats. However, to his dismay, one of the goats now limped, a consequence of the broken bone. Enraged at this betrayal, Thor, with his mighty hammer in hand, confronted the villagers. "You ingrates! I bestowed upon you a generous feast, and this is how you repay me?" thundered Thor. Determined to identify the culprit, his gaze fell upon Loki, who struggled to hide a mischievous smile. Eventually, Thjalfi, burdened by guilt, confessed to the crime. Thor, fueled by righteous anger, contemplated destroying the village and its inhabitants. Yet, in a moment of benevolence, he considered Thjalfi's plea for mercy. Thjalfi, with regret in his eyes, offered himself as a servant to the gods, proposing to repay his debt by tending to Thor's sacred goats. Choosing mercy over wrath, Thor spared Thjalfi's family, and they were tasked with caring for the goats. With this agreement settled, Thor, Loki, and Thjalfi resumed their journey, leaving the village behind as they ventured forth to explore the captivating land of the giants. In the unforgiving kingdom of giants, Jotunheim, Thor, Loki, and their newfound companion Thjalfi embarked on an odyssey shrouded in mystery. The biting cold forced the trio into the depths of a massive cave, seeking refuge from the hostile elements. Little did they know, this cavern held secrets beyond their imagination. As the gods rested, an earth-shattering noise echoed through the cave, prompting Thor to venture out. Upon a mountain summit, he beheld a colossal giant peacefully snoring beside their shelter. The giant, known as Skrymir, awoke to the god's presence. Thor, ever vigilant, noticed something peculiar. Skrymir wore but a single glove. The other was, in fact, the very cave that shielded them. Skrymir, the giant said, "Greetings, small ones. I am Skrymir, the keeper of these lands. What were you doing in my glove? If you wish, I shall guide you through the realms, carrying your belongings upon my mighty shoulders." Accepting the giant's proposition, the gods embarked on a journey fraught with unknown perils. The giant, weary from the day's travels, decided to rest. Night fell, hunger gnawing at the gods. Attempting to access the giant's bag and unable to open the knot, Thor's frustration grew. Thor, muscles flexed, attempted to pry open the giant's bag, but it resisted his efforts, sealed tight against unwelcome intruders. Frustration etched on his face. He sought another solution. Desperate, Thor tried to rouse Skrymir from his sleep. However,
The giant, deep in slumber, remained unresponsive. His eyes shut, the gods' attempts to awaken him proved futile. In a fit of hunger-fueled rage, Thor swung Mjolnir at the giant's head. To the gods' astonishment, Skrimir merely brushed it off, claiming a leaf had fallen upon him. Skirmir said, "A mere leaf, nothing more. Your journey is important. Let us press on. Utkarur awaits the realm of the giant king." Skrimir guides them to Utkarur, the domain of the king of the giants. As dawn approached, Skrimir revealed their destination, Utkarur, the realm of the giant king. Thor, intrigued and somewhat wary, wondered what awaited them in the land of the giants. "Your destination lies ahead, where Utkarur stands tall, the city of my giant kin," said Skirmir. As Skirmir spoke of Utkarur, he disclosed a surprising fact to the travelers. In the city, he was deemed weak. Thor, Loki, and Xiaofi exchanged glances, the realization sparking questions about the strength of the giants that awaited them. Little did they know, the journey had only just begun, and in Utkarur, they would face challenges beyond their wildest myths. As Thor, Loki, and the steadfast servant Xiaofi ventured through the vast kingdom of the giants, their journey reached its climax at the colossal castle of Utkarur. Welcomed by the towering giants who resided there, the gods found themselves in the grandeur of the Lord's palace. The Lord, standing out amongst giants, greeted the gods. "Welcome to my palace. I've heard tales of your prowess. How about we put it to the test? I challenge you to a series of competitions." Thor, brimming with confidence, accepted the challenge. "I can defeat you in any competition you can imagine," he declared, setting the stage for an extraordinary series of contests. Loki stepped up for the first contest against Loki, a formidable giant servant. Their challenge: to devour the banquet on the table with unmatched speed. The race unfolded with incredible intensity, both Loki and Loki consuming all the food at the same time. However, a surprising twist awaited as Loki, the giant, devoured even the plates and bones, claiming victory. Xiaofi, Thor's loyal servant, engaged in a race against a giant child known for extraordinary speed. Despite being one of the fastest mortals, Xiaofi found himself outpaced by the swift giant boy, showcasing the challenges posed by the giants. Thor faced the mightiest challenges presented by the Lord of the Giants. The god of thunder's first task was to drink the contents of a horn at one go. However, Thor could only reduce the level of the liquid by only a few inches. The Lord, not to be outdone, presented Thor with the task of lifting his pet cat. To Thor's surprise, the seemingly ordinary cat proved incredibly heavy. Even the god of thunder struggled as the cat's paws touched the ground despite his efforts. Thor's final ordeal involved a battle with an old giantess, a challenge that left the god feeling conflicted. Despite using all his might, the old woman proved to be a formidable opponent, ultimately defeating Thor. Leaving Utkarur with heads bowed, the king of the giants followed the Asgardians to the kingdom's boundaries. In a surprising turn of events, he confessed, "Now that we're alone, I can tell you a secret. I have fooled you all along." The giant king revealed that he had disguised himself as Skrimir, the guide who led Thor and his companions through Jotunheim. The god of thunder's attempts to strike him were in vain, hitting a mountain instead, creating a valley. The giant king revealed that Loki competed against fire itself that consumes everything in its path, whereas Xiaofi competed against the thought. Even of her being the fastest person in his village, no one could outpace the speed of thoughts. Thor demanded the explanations for his challenges, to which the giant king replied, "You tried to drink from a horn that was connected to the ocean, and it was remarkable that you could reduce the level by a few inches." The cat was, in fact, the world's serpent Jormungandr, who encircled the whole realm. And the final challenge, the old woman, was none other than old age itself. To the giant's surprise, Thor almost defeated the old woman, but no one could escape from the hands of time. Despite being deceived, Thor, fueled by his unyielding resolve, returned to Asgard. While defeating oldness or altering the sea level seemed impossible, Thor found solace in the thought of facing Jormungand once more, aspiring to prove himself against the world serpent.